Okay. Whoa, shaky table, earthquake. So today we're in the corner bakery again, and this is going to be the last time that I get restaurant food for a while because I'm spending way too much money on restaurant food because I get hungry. I used to just not eat, and then this girl's like, "What you doing for lunch? What 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 you doing for lunch?" I was like, fine, I guess that's a thing. Anyway.
Yeah, that's such a bad thing.
So we're both kind of out of sorts today, tired. I'm tired because I dreamt about Game of Thrones set in a high school, and it was a battle royale, and George Martin was the principal, and he was like ordering all the kids to fight each other. And you're tired because your dog snores really loud, to the point where you actually slept on the couch.
You know?
Instead of kicking the dog out. So tell us about your dog. How did you? First of all, her name is Sheila, but she goes by the nickname War Pig, and she is a Basset.
No, she is a beagle.
Beagle, sorry.
It's the very fat beagle.
She's a very fat beagle, and she was your boyfriend's father. I was your boyfriend's husband. Your boyfriend's father's dog. And then he couldn't take care of her anymore, and you ended up with her. So now they're working on, trying to make her a little bit thinner. They take her out for walks all the time. But she was a dog with problems. She has anxiety. She's
very large.
That's
why we call her War Pig, because she snores a lot. She
does.
When she's awake.
When she goes around, she goes. It's funny, but at the same time, I can see how it could get annoying very quickly, especially when you're like trying to watch TV or
never fun. She can sleeping. Because the thing, even when she's sleeping, she's snoring really loud. Even when she's awake, she kind of snores.
Yeah,
she's cute until you're trying to sleep. And I also, for some reason, am not sleeping well in my new house. So
you're not used to it yet. Also, she has severe separation anxiety and loses her mind every time people leave the house, and will bay. And as I've said in previous videos, she has a very weird bark. It's like, she's a lot like that dog in Howl's Moving Castle, the weird one. Like, looks a lot like that dog, sounds a lot like that dog. Doesn't have bird feet, but anyway. And so I thought today's topic could be animals, and I don't know specifically what about animals, but I'm a cat person.
We'll see where this goes.
What?
I guess we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I am a big fan of animals. I have often said that I like animals better than most people, which is something that a lot of my friends say, actually. The camera's like shaking like crazy. Sorry about that.
I'm not going to make my fault.
You're like, I'm so hungry. I'm just kidding. You're not that messy either. You're a steel tomato. I'm not a vegan, but I do support, better conditions for animals, like free-range meat and everything like that. I refuse to eat veal or foie gras or anything where they torture the animal just to make it taste better. I could probably stand to be more picky in what I eat, but that stuff's expensive, unfortunately. And yeah, I know that's a whole issue that we could get into. But anyway, point being, I really do like animals. I'm not the most tree-huggy-ist out there, but I get very upset when people don't take care of their pets. I've actually stopped being friends with people because I didn't like how they took the lack of, didn't take care of their animals. That's something that Avar and I actually have bonded over, is our mutual love of animals and not love of people that don't take care of animals. And growing up, I was always, I lived in the suburbs, and I was always capturing lizards and frogs and stuff and keeping them for pets. And, a lot of people were like, oh, you're capturing them from the wild, blah, blah, blah. Okay, an irrigation ditch is not really the wild. And anyway, so I love animals. But at the same time, I do believe in the circle of life, omnivores. I don't think that eating meat is necessarily super sinful. And I know this is kind of a hot topic that I'm probably going to get lots of people screaming at me about, but that's alright. I welcome your viewpoint. Let's discuss it civilly. I'm just like talking blah 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 because you're like not jumping in at all.
I'm sorry, I'm really hungry.
I can tell. But yeah, I do believe in. I mean, this sounds hokey, but I do believe in the circle of life. I do believe that there's meat eaters, there's plant eaters, there's bacteria. All of it has a purpose. All of it has a role, as it were. And yet at the same time, I'm agnostic. But whatever. So I don't think you need to pretend, like force yourself to live off wheatgrass tea, or you're a terrible person.
Well, this whole non-gluten thing that's going around.
Yeah.
You do realize that it's only good for people that can't consume gluten. I mean, the guy that created the whole gluten issue and then stuff like that, even he says if you're not allergic to gluten, you should be eating gluten. So why are you priving yourself on something you need? If you're not allergic to it,
healthy movements always kind of blow my mind, especially with diets. Because I remember my mom is a big lady, and she has gone through so many diets over the years. And I remember her going over the Atkins diet and everything like that. And it's just people were so desperate to lose weight, and I don't know. But that's off topic. I was gonna go into
that could have been a whole other topic.
That is another, diets and losing weight and stuff. That will be not really body modification, but body image conversation number 2. But as far as animals go, I really do wish that we had more stringent punishments for people who don't take care of their animals.
Oh, it should be a crime. If you
well, it is a crime. It just doesn't get enforced. That's the thing. And I mean, because there's for instance, our next door neighbor has this little rat dog that howls and howls all day, all night, and there's not really anything we can do about it. I mean, we could call the cops and they don't really care. And at worst, at best, I guess, they might find the owner, or they might take the dog away and put it in the pound to get killed.
Yeah.
And it's that's not a solution, because odds are the dog is whining because it's lonely, because it's not getting enough attention. It's not the dog's fault. It's people are crazy about human children. Oh my God, you can never leave a human child alone. You can never do this, you can never do that. But for some reason, it's fine to leave animals alone all the time.
This whole, if you're at least gonna do that to your pets, get them a friend.
Yeah. What's the
There's
reason?
some toys, or don't tie them up.
That's the reason I'm so sad about my ex-roommate's dog, is he'd be all by himself all day. Now, actually, there's another dog living there, so he has a friend finally.
Yay.
It's still 2 70-pound dogs in a tiny apartment, but at least he has something else to interact with, because especially with dogs are pack animals. Dogs are, they need to be socialized, and it's just horrible to treat them like a computer that you can just turn off and play with it when you want to.
That happens a lot with cats too.
Yeah. There is definitely a difference between cats and dogs. I think a lot of the stereotypes are not true, because I've grown up with cats, and all my cats are super cuddly, and especially in the morning when you're feeding them. And I've never really had a mean cat. I've known a couple of cats that were not nice, but by and large, every cat I've known is super cuddly.
I mean, kind of dogs are mean, so
yeah.
it's not necessarily.
I mean, it's stereotypes. Whatever. Cats versus dogs. And Stelies too. We both sorry. her snake disappeared right as she was moving, and she's really worried about him.
Yeah.
But I think he's okay because he lives next to the water. And I have my snake, my corn snake, and I brought in a skin once, because my snake had just shed, and I thought it was cool. And one of our coworkers, you weren't there yet, you hadn't been hired yet, but one of our coworkers screamed and said she was gonna faint from a skin. I'm okay. I understand that there's no rationality behind phobias, but I really don't understand how you could be scared of a skin. There's nothing in it. It's an inanimate object. And, this weekend I went to Black's Beach, which is a nude beach.
Nudie beach.
Which, I don't know, it was pretty fun. And I saw a stingray, and I was so excited because I never saw a stingray in the wild before.
I hope you know on your post it sounded like you said you found it hiking.
Whatever. Yeah, I saw a land stingray. It was very rare.
Special, and I'm like, what?
And then afterward we went, my boyfriend tricked me into hiking up a steep trail, and I was terrified the whole time because I'm super afraid of heights. So now I have to get revenge by finding some spiders and dropping them in his lap because he's scared of spiders. And I'm not. I'm not scared of spiders at all.
No, we're really getting off the subject.
What? They're animals? I don't know. I was mostly going to have you talk about your dog, and you've just been starving the whole time.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the thing is that I have to sleep on the couch because he has anxiety. So if he were to close the door, we would not sleep because she would be scratching and howling on our door. But that's...
Well, what are some of the pets you've had over the years?
I used to have cats. I've always been a cat person. My grandmother had 2 cats.
Even though you don't have any right now.
Dave's not a big cat person. And,
Come to my place, I have 3.
And let's see, my grandma had 2 cats, but those had to go into somebody else after she passed away. I had 2 cats when I was with my parents, but then we moved to like a valley, and sorry guys, and then my mom left them outside, and let's just say they never came back after a while. Because we had coyotes and bobcats. Because trust me, I would watch. We would close the door and there'd be bobcats on the glass, like looking at them, making weird noises, and I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, I don't think she wants to play with my cat.
That's another thing that really bothers me is people that get cats and good job. Who get cats and let them go outside, especially when you live somewhere with coyotes and or busy streets. Because like our cats are indoors, and we have a backyard where you can't get out of the backyard. So it's great for them. They get to be outside without being in danger. And yet all my neighbors let their cats outside, and it's like they die all the time. None of them live past like a couple of years because there's coyotes and there's baby cars, and it's just. I feel like that, you know, and I remember a long time ago I had this friend whose dad like insisted on letting the cat outdoors even though they would get eaten all the time because he's like, the cat needs to be free. He also refused to neuter his cat, which is a whole other subject. Stay neuter your pets, people, okay? You're just making more little animals that are going to be put down because no human deems them worthy of life. That's something I'm pretty militant about. But anyway, and he refused to spay the cat, and he refused to keep it inside. And they went through like 5 cats in less than 10 years. I also didn't lost my train of thought. Yeah.
That's alright. My nose is running too.
It's very distracting. We were going to sit outside, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
The end.
Oh, we're at 13 already. Damn.
Yeah. I've been doing all the talking. You want to jump in here with something?
They move and they live and they make noise.
This is what happens when you're super tired and you're trying to force a video out just because you need to have videos out, but you're super tired.
My hair looks like crap.
My hair looks like crap. Ah, really moment. Anyway, damn it. Oh, I was gonna say, and I stopped liking raccoons. Like I watched Pocahontas when I was a kid, and I love raccoons. And then I used to go to this dude ranch that had kittens all the time, living in the barn, and all the kittens got eaten by raccoons. I don't like raccoons after that. I still like if I see them, I'll try to feed them, but.
Try to feed them?
Yeah. Like when I drive home late at night, sometimes there's raccoons. Like when you get to my house, there's a part where you cut past a grocery store, and there'll be raccoons out on the street, and I will like deliberately carry food with me to throw on the ground and watch them feed it. But I always keep my window or my door shut, my window down a little bit, because they will like climb up and be like,
yeah, they will.
And I'm like, I don't want to get rabies. Which is very different from when I was little, and I was like, That's one thing I've gotten a little wiser about. Still eat cookie dough, though, with the salmonella.
Everybody does.
These are really, I don't know. I don't really have a point I was going for. I just, we were searching for a topic to talk about today, and she was like not responding. And I was like, what's that? And she's like, I'm tired. I had to sleep on the couch because of my dog. was like, oh man, why we let our animals take over our lives. I think that's a sign of a good, we're not good necessarily, but a caring pet
Well,
owner,
I mean,
though.
she would have made it so you both couldn't sleep. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep on the couch.
The dog
And she
prefers
can
to
snore in the bedroom. Hopefully I could take my boyfriend and the dog will snore together. And have a lovely snoring relationship.
Relationships. Alright, we need to have some kind of end.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Adopt. Don't buy animals. This is kind of obvious. Don't buy animals. You're supporting a horrible practice of puppy mills and just breeders are the devil. I'm sorry.
And
if you
adopt
breed,
older
you're the
ones.
devil.
They need homes too. I mean, my
Adopt
dog is
older.
11 years old.
Yes.
Every time I talk to a boyfriend, the age is different.
And no, adopting older animals has many benefits. The most obvious one being that you know pretty much how big they're going to be. You know their temperament. Kittens, you can't tell. Like, they could start out, I mean, like Daphne, my fat ass, I love her. She's a great cat. But when she was a kitten, she was all, like, playful and she would fetch and stuff like that. And then she's all fat and lazy. And then she just sleeps all the time. And I'm just like, I was lied to. When you were a kitten, you were, And, you're also saving a life. That's the thing that really bothers me. It's not like buying a new car or whatever where it can just like, stay and then go for a discount. If an animal doesn't get adopted, it gets killed. It gets put down. And even no-kill shelters, a lot of them call themselves no-kill, but having done a lot of volunteer, most of those places lie. Yeah, like the Chula Vista Pound, which lied about inoculating their cats, and they all had FIV. And when we rescued some of them, they spread the FIV. I think it was FIV to all the other cats that my boss or whatever had in her care, and pretty much 2/3 of them died because the pounds said that they had inoculated them and they hadn't. So pounds?
Wow.
There's good people working at pounds. There's shitty people working at pounds. It's better to be circumspect than to just be like, oh, no kill, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Well, that's why we took our dog we have now, because she's going to be put down. Like, she's not sick.
Yeah.
She's just very depressed sometimes.
She's just moody and has
She's
a
tense.
strong
She's like an old
personality.
lady. She's an old lady.
Yeah.
Set in her ways and has been by herself a lot. So that's why she has separation anxiety, and that's why I sometimes want to be like, dog, shh, when I leave the house. And the neighbors probably hate us. At least she's not gone.
I should bring your dog to my house and let my neighbors have a taste of their own medicine. But they're never home. It's all these party, college-age people. I don't think they actually go to college. But they only come late at night to have a party, and then they leave for the rest of the day. But anyway, okay, rambling video.
Yeah, it's really random.
Thanks for watching. Sorry this video was lame and off topic, but we're very tired. But we'll do better next time. Suggest topics, because we don't know what to talk about. We have a list, but we keep like losing interest in the topics when it's actually feasible to talk about them. Or we're scared to talk about them because we don't want to accidentally offend our friends. Like one of the topics I want to do, which is fair weather friends, which is going to be a whole rant. Alright. If you like, leave a comment. Bye.